What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Conversations at the Movement Lab, where we have meaningful conversations about health, fitness, and movement, and what it means to live a fulfilled and happy life. I am super excited for today's episode. First off, this episode is brought to you by the Lux Creative.
Hey.
This is where this beautiful studio is. So if you need a workspace or podcast studios or content creation studios or just a place to get some work done, we'll probably talk about that a little bit today.
Yeah.
But today's guest, I'm super excited to have. He's probably one of the best people I know. I look up to him a lot as a role model, as a father, as a business owner, and just a wonderful human being altogether. I would not be where I am now without him and his help and his encouragement and connections and all the wonderful things. And so I'm going to stop making your head a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Welcome, Michael
Thanks,
Streight.
bro. Yeah.
So pumped
excited.
about you, dude. Cool, man. Well, we tried to record this episode last week.
Yeah,
and
8 days ago.
Yeah, good memory. Just as life happens, we sat down, and I kid you not, my hand was on the record button.
Yeah, literally.
And your wife called you and said, "Hey, little guy's sick. Someone's got to go get him."
Josiah, our second, was sick. That dude, man, when he goes down hard. And then Jeremiah, we had messages from his school right before we were about to shoot. And Sophie was like, "You might need to go get him." And then as we sat down and we're about to start, she texted me like, "You need to go get him right now." I was like, "Well, looks like we got to restart." And then I wasn't feeling good either.
Yeah.
And that was Thursday. And then that Friday, I was down for the count, took like 6 naps, had almost 103 fever.
Cool.
And then we had all the crazy snow. It's been a wild past week.
Yeah, it's been
So
crazy.
glad to be on this side of it.
Yeah, we're done. We don't know what day it is. It's Friday, if that helps out. It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's the end of the week, so that helps. But
Yeah.
so just in fatherhood fashion, just that's what
Yeah.
happens, and that's what happened. Duty calls, and we got to do the things. But I feel like there's so many things to talk about. I think first, let's just talk about who Michael Streight is. I mean, all the things you've got your hands in. Just tell people about who you are and what the life of Michael Streight is all about.
Okay, try to do it pretty quick. I 33 years old. I've got 3
Youngin'.
kids, 3 boys. Yeah, 6, 5, and almost 8 months tomorrow. And wow, that's crazy. Obviously, beautiful wife. We're going on 10 years of marriage this coming March.
10?
Yeah.
Big
Yep,
year.
10
All right.
years. Wild. Been together for almost this July will be 13 years been together, which is crazy. So yeah, great family. Love the kids. They're absolutely insane. As you know, our 2 oldest, 6 and 5, are in jiu-jitsu. Jeremiah, quick humble brag, just made this select competitive team in his age group from 6 to 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
They have over 400 kids in his in all the locations of his jiu-jitsu. He was one of 14 invited to go try out for this competitive team. They only accepted 7, and we just got notification that he was one of the 7 accepted.
What?
So doing the math, that's less than 2% of his whole class between 6 to 9 years old. He was one of the 7 selected, which means pay more money and commit more.
Yeah.
But no, like this, we're really excited to be a part of CCJF, and kind of they're really working on pioneering like the select space in jiu-jitsu. You got select soccer, select lacrosse, football. There's nothing really like that in the jiu-jitsu space. So diving deeper into the competitive world, doing competitions. He gets like a custom gi with his name on it, and
so
custom other outfits and swag. And then he has to practice with his competitive team 2 to 3 days out of the week as well, which is over in Frisco. But man, we're really proud of him, and he rose to another level of competition at that tryout that like we've never seen. And as you kind of know, Jeremiah, he's like just a little ninja.
Yeah.
So and then, man, on the business side, I've grown up in McKinney my whole life, pretty much since I was 4. I'm the youngest, my twin sister and I, of 2 older sisters, from 40 years old down to Megan and I being 33. And so, as you know, our space, Dr. Mitch's space, Luxury Lifestyle Training, Lux Creative, is right off Virginia Parkway and Highway 75. But this street is iconic to McKinney. I mean, I've driven down this road tens of thousands of times my whole life. I went to First McKinney church growing up, got baptized there. And then so for our businesses to be like off that street, for me to have my house off this street, I could walk home from here, is just like it's full circle, weird, cool, all the things. Yeah, so we do life in this bubble of McKinney. Our church is over in Plano. We go to Citizens Church. Absolutely love it. Branch of the Village. We have our own autonomous staff, but yeah, and then the businesses, man. I made a post yesterday about just like I've been nothing. I've only been a part of startups my whole career, which has been exciting and terrifying at the same time. From launching a construction company's corporate platform from the ground up for their gym, personal training classes, wellness initiatives, challenges. That company almost quadrupled in size during my 3 years there. Went to go be a lead trainer at another studio. And then around COVID, not because of it, but I sat my dad down at a Starbucks and asked him for an investment to help me build out my garage to start LLT, which is Luxury Lifestyle Training. And in the midst of all that was a part of a really known supplement company that was a co-founder and partner of, and then an executive health group that we launched that I still dream about, that I wish we could have really had taken off because it could have really blown up. And then having our gym design business in this creative space. It's like the creative space, gym design, and LLT are kind of my babies. And we could dive deeper into that, but that's kind of where we are now. And it's just been an insane journey over these past 5 years, kind of launching those.
5 is so insane to me. Like
Yeah.
5 years and just seeing what all has been
Yeah.
accomplished in 5 years is wild.
Yeah, I mean, 6, almost 6. This March will technically be like 6. But
Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Like, people walk into the space, and first off, it's just incredible. It's beautiful. All the insane equipment, the design's great, but everybody walks in and like jaw hits the floor.
Yeah.
Because one, it looks incredible, but a lot of people are like, I didn't know this was here. How long has this been here?
Yeah.
And I tell them, I don't know. I think since like, I don't know, 5 years or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. And so I think one thing that's kind of fun to think about, obviously you've got these 3 main businesses, like I call Lux Creative like your hobby business, because I feel like that's a good way to describe it. It's, something you're passionate about and you had the opportunity to do it, and you're like, yeah, let's go for it.
Totally.
But how did just the beginning of, I don't want to say just like, I guess you could say LLT because it's all connected, but like from going to A&M and then figuring out like, I want to get into the health and fitness space and training, and kind of where did all that come from, and like how did you decide like, hey, I want to be a personal trainer, and then take it to the next level and become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's a great question. That wasn't my plan. Like, I wasn't growing up my whole life like, I'm going to be a personal trainer.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people are.
No, for sure. And if anything, a lot of people do completely something different than their major. Or, I mean, I would like to say that I did sport management with a minor in business, and then a double minor. I interned at Michael Johnson Performance. And so I stayed within the fitness space. Most people in my major ended up going and working for a really big sport franchise like the Mavericks or the Stars or something like that. But for me, I wanted to go more of the coaching, like the actual coaching route. So while I got my major and my degree, I did a lot of certifications. And as you know, during my time in College Station, I got pretty big into the CrossFit space. And really the pioneering person that I would say like is where I'm at, because where I am today is because of my cousin, Becky Conselman, who is the founder of Faith RX, a fitness ministry, was a world-renowned CrossFit Games athlete, did cycling, the dome cycling, and pursued Olympic pursuits in the past, like early 2000s. She unfortunately passed away. Was it, believe 2019 from a brain aneurysm, which was unbelievably we were shocked. I mean, the fittest, shreddest beast of a woman from eating so healthy and sleep, and it was just something that came completely out of left field. I mean, literally, we hang out with her kiddos. My technically second cousins. My dad's the youngest of 6 kids, so all my first cousins are a lot older.
Okay.
But Becky's kids, Tyler and Kylie, we're super close with, and they come down here to Texas all the time. Kylie's boyfriend, actually, she met here in McKinney, and they're still dating.
Oh,
it's
wow.
crazy. It's awesome. So they're here a lot, and it's been such a joy being able to just dive deeper in relationship and family with them. But yeah, Becky, when I didn't play college football, she's like, hey, I think you'd be good at this CrossFit thing. So I started competing in CrossFit and started coaching at College Station CrossFit, Boom Fit, personal training in College Station, and then realized like, man, I love coaching classes, but I could also make some more money doing personal training. And I ended up just like kind of, if you want to say like a pinball or like the rails in a bowling, like I just kind of got navigated down this route that got skinnier to like, man, I really enjoy people. I enjoy building relationships. And even at the core of all these roots, I was on a business trip. Golly, when was this? 2022 or 2023. Out looking at some mountains in California one evening in Irvine, California. And I felt like God gave me kind of this like vision mission of like, my mission is to impact people's lives that are higher end training and lifestyle experience. And then the visual that I was given was almost this like river root system of like, it doesn't just have to be this one way. Like kind of like your joke you just made of like, man, Lux Creative is kind of this side hobby thing. It's like, well, yeah, but it also has purpose, which I know you know that. But it's birthed from the root that we want to make a high-end impact and experience in everybody's lives, and the roots that we're doing that through is our luxury lifestyle training concierge personal training company, Lux Life Gym Design, our gym design and build company, and then our creative space where people can create, connect, and belong, whether that's shooting content for their own entrepreneurial ventures or whatever, or even for our clients or other colleagues, all of our coaches. We have 9 employees or more if you include all of our gym design team, and it's closer to almost 15, where it's like I want this to share this space. I want people to use it and leverage it and let it be a creative outlet. So that's just kind of like, man, now you fast forward almost 15 years, which sounds insane, since being at A&M. That's been like a pioneering just like root and stake, if you will call it, of like, man, I want to connect and create an impact in people's lives, and kind of the journey and the passion and purpose that God's distilled into me is through the fitness industry space. And I'm not going to share, it'll be a little teaser, but like we're working on an even bigger movement within that world as well that is birthing from if you want to call it a problem, but an opportunity to help solve a solution that we see in our space that's like, why is anybody doing this? And it comes from a heart of like, how can we create a solution to impact other people, and then fail forward and figure it out.
Yeah, I love that.
So
there's so many pieces to that. I think one, I think one thing you kind of touched on is, I think it's one thing that's really cool about not only just like LLT, but like all of your brands as a whole. It's that root system you talked about, that high-end experience. And I think that's one thing that's really unique that really drew me to LLT when I first, came across LLT. When was that? 2022? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the fact that it was so high-end and just like really truly servicing these clients to the maximum ability, right? And so, LLT, luxury lifestyle training, like you walk into this space and like it fits the brand, like it's nice, it's luxurious. This isn't just like nothing to any other spaces, but like not a 24-hour fitness gym, or like there's not a lot of chaos going on. Like the way people are in the studio is because they're training with a trainer. It's this, now you have some different types of memberships offered, but like the main function of it is like it's a nice space. It's very luxurious, not because of the fancy things that we kind of talked about the other day. Was, when people think luxury lifestyle training, you think, oh, it's like this really nice equipment, or like these automatic trash cans, or like towel service, or whatever it is. Like that's nice, but the luxury of it is the service, right?
Yeah.
Like the quality of trainers, the relationships those trainers are building, the quality of the training, and just all of it, from things as big as, hey, here's this really nice equipment, here's some really high-end training, get your results, to the little things of here's a water when you walk in, or I'm putting the equipment away for you, you don't need to touch that. Like just the experience is huge. And I think that translates to all of your businesses. And I think that's huge.
100%.
And I think it's something that really shows it's about serving others.
Yeah. It's whether people want to admit it or realize it or not, every single thing that you do, what you wear, the way you present yourself, the service that you provide, your shoot, the cleanliness of your shoes, the towel service, the water, everything is a representation of your brand. And by all means, we're not perfect at it, but we are continuing to like fine tune all those small things, not in a way to say, oh, look how cool we are, but it's honestly a level of expectation of like of service and taking care of what God's given us and put in our hands to be good stewards of. And it's a representation back to him too. The actual foundational reason why I chose purple was because of the representation to Jesus. And yes, it also happens to be a representation of royalty or a higher end feel or color. So that's why I went with purple. But like it all points back to Jesus. And then also just creating a space that is low stimulating. It's not overwhelming. It's very welcoming when they come in. Like literally, if clients want to take shoes off, we encourage that. But then we also educate why it is important to train barefoot and how to create more neurological toning from the feet all the way upstream to the brain, and how that can help with so many things that are more into your world. But that's a real thing. Like we want people to walk in, as you know, we're about to put up this really awesome, we're calling it like our 10 commandments or our creed. I loved what Coach Tyler said. It's like our culture code. It's the LLT way. Yeah. And it's kind of this like banter, fun, humanness of 10 like staples of how we uphold our integrity, our service, our care, our culture, our community vibe. That yes, even though we are more one-on-one and like small group training, the conversations and the connectiveness of everyone is very alive. And when you read those commandments or our culture code on the wall, whether you're an employee, a client, a member, or someone brand new, like you can just walk in and be like, man, I feel that. Okay, yep, I see that. Okay, yep, that is definitely this space. It's a continued representation of what we do and who we are. So, yeah.
I love that. It's huge. And I think that's something that's so cool, is just the culture that you not only had the mind of, back in 2022, like this is what I want to, or even when you started, I mean, you started out of your garage. Like, yeah. That's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, yeah, you had the relationships of training around here, and then you were like, hey, Dad, can you help me build out this garage? This is my dream for a business. And, shout out to your dad for, being a steward in that and being able to help you with that. And then just like the fact of, again, the luxury side of it, like, I'm not going to lie, like you made that garage gym look pretty sick. But garage gyms aren't the most luxurious thing in the world, right?
Nor is my house. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. Yeah. We love it. It's grateful we renovated it. But, like, we're not doing it in a $6 million house that is a luxury neighborhood. It was doubling down on what I had already created was an amazing relationship with clients. They came for workouts. They stayed for the relationship that I created with them. That's something I share with our team. That's a great thing that you do with your clients, and a big reason why we love building synergy with you is because people come for that experience, but the relationship piece is massive of why they're going to continue to come back. And then, oh, by the way, a great service or workout experience is an amazing byproduct that they get while they're here. And so, that I was doubling down on the relationship piece first. Yeah. And then also putting that carrot out in front of them, like, hey, this isn't our final resting place. This is gonna just be the runway, the initial flight takeoff. But like our home, we will have a home base sooner or later. I didn't know where, but we figured it out.
Yeah, 2 blocks away from your house, which is even crazier. Something about startups and garages, man. I don't know. Everybody just Amazon, all the things. We just
I think it's IBM, Apple, Disney.
It's crazy. But again, like you said, like the culture of it, like you started in your garage. Again, nothing is super luxurious about a garage. And so the culture and the relationships are what matter. And that's how you build that value. And now it's grown to this incredible space here that you just finished an expansion on 2 months ago. Yeah. And then now you went from yourself to a staff of, 9 trainers. And so I think that's huge. And so just kind of the growth and what's been kind of the mindset as you have grown from Michael and himself in this garage to this incredible facility with a wonderful staff that brings so much diversity and different, like, how have you kind of evolved that vision? Has the vision changed? Has the culture changed? How do you instill that culture in other people? What does that leadership look like?
Great question. It has not been easy. I mean, we've had people in seats and positions that fit for a time frame. I love the phrase of like, man, people may come and go in your life for chapters or seasons, but they may not be a part of the whole story or the whole book. And that's something that I've really had to, like, being a people pleaser and not wanting to upset people. Like, I've had to swallow that and realize that, like, yeah, there's people that I still care about, that, we're in different chapters and seasons of life that just don't align as much. And there's only so many hours of the day that we can, continue to check in and care for the people that are in our world. So, but man, really, a funny phrase and people have probably heard is like, man, you got to have a vision so big that people have to see their vision within that vision. I love something that Faith Hustle just posted. Shout out to even the hat that I'm wearing, through one of the 4 lessons that he just learned through his podcast tour of, goodness, I'm going to butcher it, but practically just discussing just having a path and a passion so big that it, like, aligning it with God's plan, not just yours, and making sure it's like where he wants to take you. And so, as you know, like, our first space that we got here was 2,300 square feet. You had came in at another chapter of your life and season where you just had a table literally in the corner on our turf and was trying to build relationships with people as you were starting to build roots here in the McKinney, Collin County area. And then you stayed in touch, but what was that, almost 2 years that, like, you weren't the Movement Lab?
More than that, yeah. It was
over 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Crazy. So, like, that, even though, like, you and I knew there was something there, but it wasn't prepared yet. And then our 2,300 square feet, we got an opportunity to take over the space next door to us that we knew was going to be open like November 1st, end of October of 2025. But no one knows this. I spent thousands of dollars, I should have just burned the money, of doing architectural drawings and new other gym renderings of taking that space over the year before. And was going to do like a golf simulator space and a different practitioner.
Yeah, that's right.
And a whole different layout than what we have now. And praise God, I look back and like, okay, God was shutting that door. He was shutting that door. I was being too persistent and stubborn to let go. Yeah. And in the midst of that, I was insanely stressed, and then also burned thousands of dollars that I'm not going to get back. But because God was... I said this in an Instagram post a while back, is what is God trying to stop in our lives today so he can start something greater, maybe tomorrow or in our future? And what is it that we're so stubborn about letting go of in order for him to start? That's even greater and bigger than what we can even imagine and fathom. And I would say this, and where we are now, the expansion of the gym, is way better than what I could have fathomed. Because... like, if you guys haven't seen the Movement Lab, Dr. Mitch's space, he has this awesome, like, glass wall.
Yeah, I call it the fishbowl.
Fishbowl.
Like, because you can look right in, dude. I feel like I'm just like a fish in a tank looking out, and it's like the whole front's glass, but it's perfect, though, for like...
Exactly. It is perfect. So that room used to be... our whole space actually used to be a Church of Christ, which is a whole nother awesome thing that I believe that this space is already blessed. But we only took over half of it, and then now we actually took over the rest of it, of what it used to be. And but the fishbowl, as Dr. Mitch, that technically was like a kitchen break room, but we capped all the plumbing and all those things and made that Dr. Mitch's room. But it's like, it is so perfect. It's inviting. Obviously, you do a great job on connecting and coming out and doing a lot of your rehab specialty work with your clients in the gym. But then there's cross-pollination. I mean, it could not be better. And then you're also right by our studio director's office, Tommy Fleury, who was on, was it the last podcast? Okay. Absolute rock star. He's got a really weird accent, guys. It's because he's from France. Chamonix, France is where he's from. He moved here to play American football. The dude's a giant from France. How does that happen? Absolute rock star.
But his mom is British?
I think so.
One's British, one's French, and so he has this like British French American accent.
It's weird.
I don't know what he says. Yeah,
like, slow down, bro. I know you're excited. But I kind of went a little off track. But I just share all that to say that, like, man, it takes time, and it takes a lot of just like blunt grunt force to like just keep pioneering and like picking your feet up out of the sand and like taking your next step. And then finding the right people, having a vision that's so big. I loved something I heard on a podcast yesterday that first you got to have passion, and then you find the purpose of the passion, and then you create the plan to go pursue that passion and that purpose. Where a lot of times people will have passion, they don't really have, they may have purpose or feel like they have purpose, but they don't really have a plan. So they just wake up every day and put on motivation to go try to accomplish whatever role that they're in. Or maybe not, it's someone that might be working for a company that is just pursuing a purpose of goals to reach to get that next paycheck or to get that big bonus, but they actually don't have like a rooted passion to continue to do it forever. And so I was like, man, that is really good. Like, so, I mean, I think people listening, obviously you are doing it and I'm doing my best to do it, is like, I literally last night, I'm sitting down and the boys were asleep. I was thinking about today. I was like, I'm so excited to get back. I'm excited to have this podcast with you. I'm excited for the things that I'm working on today. I'm excited for this big meeting I had this afternoon. I love what I'm doing. And so the passion and the purpose is there. And then my plan, my vision for it all is just as big as possible. So other people want to be a part of that and help. I mean, Tommy is a great example. He was the #1 revenue producer at Cowboys Fit at the Star, reached a cap within 1 year, and honestly took a pretty decent pay cut to come join on full time as our studio director, and still is even building that back up. But we've made some commitments to one another, and I'm making promises, but it's also a collective effort. Like, hey, if we want to reach this goal and we want to get to this position, it's going to take us doing it together and then also getting the buy-in from the rest of our team. Where in the past, there's been times where people want the fruit first or the fruit guaranteed first, and then once they get that, they'll find the motivation to go do it. Rather than, no, I believe in the vision so much, the passion is there, the purpose is so clear. All right, now I'm actually willing to put in the work to help get there. It's called jumping in the boat and freaking rowing with me, rather than like, oh, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna put my oar here and let it stick in the water and hold us back. But then when I see the horizon, I'll start helping row, because now I know that we're gonna actually probably get there. And it's like, bro, you're either in the boat helping us row or you're not. And luckily, by the grace of God, with the expansion and all that, we've found some amazing people. And I could share, too, that even without that expansion, I would say the past 3 or 4 people we've hired wouldn't have come on, which kind of goes back to, like, we were getting to this point before you came in, too, that, like, we had kind of reached a cap in 2,300 square feet where it's like, do we want to stay here and just kind of keep it the way it is and not really have another like vision, massive growth idea? And it just wasn't an option. So unfortunately, and a massive fortunately, I had to take on more risk in additional business capital. But luckily, having 3 to 4 years of consistent business growth, I was able to capture that. And we took on the expansion of doubling the gym size space, which then led to us also ironically getting our office creative space. But I think whether you call all of that and working with an amazing business coach, Tommy coming on, luck, stars falling and aligning, obviously God, like whatever it is, it's an all concoction of just growing a vision even bigger, and then the talent finding us and us finding the talent. And now we're gonna double LLT this year. We doubled it this past year, and then Lux Life Gym Design is gonna do the same.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think kind of building off that, I mean, you mentioned like motivation. It's like you've got to have motivation. Motivation isn't always there. And so if you don't have the plan,
for sure,
like that's the thing. You know, people always talk about the difference between motivation and discipline, right? You know, and so motivation's up and down. Discipline's like whether you have the motivation or not, you're doing it. And so what were the 4, like I call them the 4 P's in my head. What were those?
I said passion first,
okay,
purpose, and then the plan. And then you could add, I didn't add it in, but you could add in like then the pursuit of like go.
Yeah. I like that. Because again, it's like a 4-legged stool. Like if one of those legs is not there, it's not functional, right?
Yeah.
You're tipping over. And so again, I think having all of those is huge. You got to have every single one, because if one is missing, it's going to change everything, right? So I love that. That's huge. And I think because of those things, and I think the other thing that you mentioned that I love is having a vision so big that other people's visions fit within it. I think is huge. I think it's exactly what you've built here, right? I think that's being a leader in general, right? Is here's your vision. How do people on your team, how do their visions fit within that vision? Is it the same vision, or is it a piece of the vision, or whatever it is? Because if people can't see that, then it's not their place. It's not their
totally.
it's not
And it allows like It allows, which if Sophie heard me saying this, my wife, she'd be like, "You need to say that to yourself every day." But it allows space for God and like just the unknown of like, man, I don't know how this happened, but like it points to a bigger purpose and pursuit than yourself because it makes it impossible to accomplish on your own. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, even with discussions we've had about the growth of Movement Lab, like Dr. Mitch is not gonna stay in the fishbowl for the rest of his life.
I don't
as
know, man.
much
I kind of like you guys.
as much
Though.
as he likes it and loves it, I'm also trying to give you a lot of wisdom and counsel from all of my experience, which we talk off air about. And how can you continue to grow without taking on a ton of, business debt? And there's a lot of ways that you could do that, and kind of different ways that the pursuit that I'm pursuing, I'm not going to talk about yet, that could align. But like you're not stopping, and that like I don't know why that rubs some people the wrong way. It's like I mean it's like growth is inevitable. Even aging is inevitable. It's gonna happen. It has to happen. Like we can't stop time. So you're gonna stay where you are, which 2 days, 5 months, 5 years from now is gonna be worse. If we say exactly where we are today, we're gonna be in a worse place. We would be in a worse place in the future. So no matter what, growth and continuedness like has to happen. And so you're going to continue to grow no matter what. And that's why having amazing relationships and counsel helps with those types of decisions. But I mean, like you have to continue to pursue something greater. It allows space for God. It allows space to say, hey, I can't do this on my own. I need help, to go then find talent and the right people. And then it's awesome to see. What I love is like the orchestration, like literally thinking of a symphony or an orchestration of all these different musicians or a team. Like I played football. If anyone's familiar with the pursuit drill, I was a cornerback. So if a guy on the opposite side of the field gets around the outside, I have to take the biggest pursuit drill as possible, engage his speed to hopefully tackle him before he scores a touchdown. All the defensive linemen, linebackers, safety, other cornerback, they're not looking back waiting for me like, hey, bro, are you going to come try to help to tackle him? It's like, no, that is a subconscious expectation as a team player to be like, I'm going to give all my effort to try to get there and tackle him. But if I don't, I know that Michael, Tommy, Shauna, Tyler, whoever else is behind my back, they're going to also come and help and tackle. And you do your best to do that. And so like when I try to talk about teams and stuff, and like if no one's even played a team sport, I don't know, you can still get some sort of feeling of that. But like that's the type of camaraderie and cohesiveness and teamness, if that's a word.
It is now.
That that just like you gotta see, feel, understand, and absorb and take on.
No, I think it's huge because it's one of those things where it's like you can only motivate someone so much, and so it's about finding those right people that they have the vision and they have the passion and the purpose and all those things that fit in within it, because that's kind of what it's like when you're a leader. Is like, hey, you've got this overarching business or overarching team or whatever it is, but now you can only do so much, right? You only have so much time to motivate or encourage or hold people accountable, whatever it is. And it's just whenever you find the right people and they have the same vision and they have the same LLT way as you, and they have that, I don't want to call it buy-in, because they don't need to be bought in, because that's who they are and it's what they believe as well.
Yep.
Then it's just they meet the expectations. It's just what you do here. And so I think that's huge. And so I mean, I know we could talk about business and all the fun things for so long, but one piece I did want to make sure we touch on, because I think we're both in the nitty and gritty of it, and I think you feel it more than I do, but the balance of all of these incredible things of business and being a leader and having a team and growing and new adventures on the horizon and all these things balanced with what's happening at home, right? Being a husband, being a father, being a leader of our household, all those things, like, it's not an easy balancing act. It's not. No. And so kind of what's your, I don't want to say vision, but how do you kind of view it, and how do you look at it, and how do you reflect on this balance of life and being a serial entrepreneur and a father and a husband and a believer, and just, it's a lot of roles, right? And so how do you look at it and how do you balance it? And
I visualize it like, excuse me, one of those balance boards, that you can stand on with the thing in the middle, and you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, tipping to the right, tipping to the left. It's never perfectly in the middle, and if it stays there for like a half a second, it's gonna immediately teeter back and forth. So like, I would say that's the balance, or that's the juggle. Sophie, it is obviously an awesome blessing that Sophie, my wife, and then my sister have their hair salon attached to our studio as well. And so I get to see Sophie 2 days, sometimes 3 days out of the week now. She's backed off a little bit since we've had our third kid. At the salon, at the gym. Well, sometimes every once in a while, ironically, like be having lunch at the same time. Like, oh, it's having a little lunch date. So like,
love it.
taking initiative and taking advantage of those like cute, sweet little moments, because they're few and far between, as you know, with little kids. I try to go back and say like, man, if I could go back and I could control the timeline of all this, like, start trying to build a business first.
Yeah.
And then build a family.
I feel you on that one,
It's too hard to build a family and then also build a business. But building a family and building businesses at the same time is insanely hard. And I'm just doing it. I haven't had any reruns on it, so it has not been easy. And as you know, between Josiah and Noah, there's a 5-year gap almost, because we had 5 miscarriages, and like that was an insane piece of our story over the past 4 years, which is wild to even think about. And then in the midst of like doing a double expansion and all those things, like it's been pretty intense. So, the juggle is, continue to try to do your best in the presence of when you are home, and being willing to, we were humorously just discussing, be willing to adapt and overcome in situations where, we sat down last week to do this podcast, and then I got a text and was like, hey, you got to go pick up Jeremiah. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to pick up Jeremiah, bro. Sorry. And not everyone, if they have a 9-to-5, has that capacity or ability to like just stop their work and walk out and just tell their boss like, hey, I'll be right back. I got to go pick my kid up. So I will say that is a huge blessing of being an entrepreneur, and thankfully having people on my team that can help put out fires when I'm not here, if I need to go run and do something. I do feel over this past year, like if I needed to or wanted to, I could completely step away from the businesses, which sounds crazy, because I've got some amazing people around me. My operations director, Jocelyn's an absolute rock star and saint. And Tommy's obviously a workhorse. So finding those people to help to allow you to then step back. Jeremiah and Josiah are 6 and 5. I would say the past, 3 to 4 years, launching the businesses has been the most stressful. I do feel like we're kind of coming up over a little bit of a hill where it's like I feel like I'm breathing a little bit more, not like just at home so like tense and flustered. But it has nothing to do with my kids. And so that's been really humbling. Is like, I grew up, the most I've ever seen my parents ever argue is when my mom's telling my dad not to eat ice cream at night. Like, it's been awesome. But then at the same time, like, I've had to learn, like, wow, there is conflict in marriage. And wow, the marriages don't just have this perfect unison where they just banter if I eat chocolate ice cream late at night. So navigating through conflict and tension with Sophie is something we've had to learn through. We've had marital counseling, which has been a huge help and blessing. Marital counseling isn't something that you should just go to when things are really bad, just like working out or maintenance with you, right? Like it's something that I would encourage everyone to do. Being a part of a church body, we've been a part of Citizens Church over in Plano. Used to be a branch of the Village. We're autonomous now. So being a part of a community has been huge as well. Unless someone's unbelievably sick or we're out of town, like we're there every Sunday. It's a non-negotiable. And then I've had the amazing opportunity to start a Bible study here on Wednesday mornings with a close-knit of buddies from church and one of my brother-in-laws. And so, like, that's been fruitful. And as you know, being a trainer, like, that's been my excuse is, I'm coaching early in the mornings and I'm coaching late in the evenings. And so doing something like that during those times when most people are doing those, I don't have time for it. So it's been awesome to be able to do that. But and then I would say Sophie and I try to do dates once or twice a month. But and it is definitely not easy.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of intention is what it
Yeah.
sounds like. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's funny enough, you mention all these things. It's like you can almost pull in those the P's that we mentioned earlier between the purpose and the passion and the plan. It's like you've got to
totally
have
could.
all of those things, and same thing with our family. And I think one thing that I've definitely learned, and kind of you mentioned it, right? Like, if you could go back in time, maybe grow a business before, growing a family,
Yeah.
but God has different plans for us. And at the same time, I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't change it.
Yep.
And just because the things that you've learned and the lessons along the way, and it makes us who we are. But I think, if we could do it differently, yeah, sure. But at the same time, no. And you learn, right? And so you figure out, okay, what are the things that we need to do in order to be successful? I mean, you're a leader at home. You're a team member at home. Same thing as you are here. So what do we need to do to be successful, right? And it's setting those, I don't want to call them boundaries, but those non-negotiables like church every Sunday and the dates and all those things, like setting that and having that plan is huge. And I think just mixing in all the things of, people think of being a father of they just think time, right? It's just like, oh, it takes a lot of time. Well, it's like, it's more than just time, man. Like maybe when they're little, when they're infants, like that's just really time. Like it's just like, sleep and all the things. But now we start getting all these other, I don't want to call them other pressures, but there's other things that come with it, right? And so, you mentioned, there's, we're anxious about all these other things, and then we're not mad at the kids, we're mad at something else, and then it comes out on the kids or on our spouse or whatever, and that's, we're all working at that, and it's a balancing act. And so I think it's more than just the time, right? You think about, okay, well now I've got this business, and I've got, I'm thinking about this next thing that I need to do for the business, or this next email, or this next conversation, or what's happening the next day. But then it's also like, when it comes to the kids, well, it's like, hey, well now Jeremiah's about to hop in on this competitive jiu-jitsu side of things, but you're also trying to be a father that teaches their kids things and trying to be an example. And there's just so many pressures and all the things we put on ourselves, man. It's a lot. But one thing that I've kind of been reading about lately is kind of goes back to the plan, is creating these habits, right? Is creating these habits of being a father and a husband and a follower of Christ, and all these habits that allow us to grow our relationship with the Lord, but also be a better father and husband and more present at home. And again, having that plan and having those habits, and then, hey, when things hit the fan, right? It's what do they say when all things go wrong, or when all things happen, whatever it is, you fall to your level of preparedness. And so and that's where habits come in. It's like, what are you used to doing? What are those habits? And so again, the more we can work on those habits and just build awareness around them, I think helps out a lot. And I think that's definitely something I've learned. I mean, you've been in the business and fatherhood balance longer than I have.
Yeah,
but
not that much longer. Yeah. And I also too, like in the certain ways, like inviting your family in, I mean, it's like the boys joke about all the time wanting to, we've got a lot of random gym build projects happening in like the Rockwall Heath area. And so for a while, when we were doing a really big project finishing up there, I was always talking about Rockwall. And so a lot of times, even still to this day, I'll say, hey, I got to go buy a gym project or gym build project. They're like, oh, you going to Rockwall? And but there was times that I took them with me, and we had to do a paint sample, and I let them do the sample on the wall. Or, we were moving equipment or pallets, and I got them to come help me. Or I'll have, which I have right now, a bunch of trash or old flooring in the back of my truck, and so I'll go get them at the house and then bring them back up here to the office to throw it away. And those things they love. Kids want task and things to accomplish and to do. So trying to be creative in those ways, especially with the boys, getting older and seeing more, and going back to what you said of it's not just time, we're navigating conversations and words and what they're watching on Disney, because there's all kinds of stuff now. But it's like inviting them in and doing the best to make them part of it. I came up obviously through the snow this past weekend, and Jeremiah and I did a workout.
That was so cool, man.
I still haven't posted it, but dude, he freaking loved it. And they want that quality time with us. They want our attention. Yeah. And so what are those pockets of habits and purpose and intentionality that we can give them through it, just like we do with our work?
Exactly. Yeah. I think, and that's all kids want, man. They just want to feel included and a part of something, and they want to help. kids are just built-in helpers. So, and then it's just gonna, not only is this, helping things in the moment, but dude, that's like the things they're gonna remember for the rest of their life. They're like,
100%.
man, I grew up learning how to, you know, move equipment with my dad, and
Yeah.
how we did these paints up, and I traveled all over him, and he showed me all these. Yeah, we saw all these cool things, and we spent time together. But like I see, he's gonna be like, I saw what hard work looks like, and I
Yep.
saw how much my dad cared about not only us as a family and worked, but also cared for his clients and the people he served and all these things. It just adds up, right? And it's just all these incredible things. And so,
Yeah.
kudos to you, man. You're doing
Well, it's
right.
been cool to see, like, you can maybe share this. For me, like, even with my dad, he put me in so many different camps and football combines and opportunities to allow me to excel at a sport that I loved and was passionate about. We're trying to kind of do that now with jiu-jitsu, with Jeremiah. I mean, we're going to keep pursuing it as long as he wants to, and is enjoying it. But now when I look back when I was younger, it's like, oh, I got to do all these cool things and be with my dad. But now I'm like, wow, I see it through such a different lens. Like, man, he invested a lot of his time, a lot of his money to put me into these camps and these combines and to allow me to travel across Texas. Before I went to Blinn and then to A&M, we did I don't even remember, 3 or 4 day Texas tour of 10 different small colleges, from Texas State to Abilene Christian to some small JUCOs. That was right also when UTSA was launching bigger out there. He took me to all these different schools for me to see these spaces of can you envision yourself playing football here? And I was like, nope, I don't think I can. But that was something I look back of man, we drove for hours for 3 or 4 days. But that was something that, man, he didn't have to do all that. That was a cool opportunity to be with my dad, for him to invest that time and that money. You just see it through a different lens as you get older. And then, those are things that we're trying to do with our kids.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. I think same thing. I think hindsight's 20/20, and then when you're a parent, you understand, you realize all those things. And so, I mean, there are times that I just go through the day, and I'm gonna text my mom, tell her thanks, just because it's I now see it, right? Same thing, the time, the money, just all the investment, and all the things that you put into their passions, all the things that you put aside of your own as a parent, and things like that for them. It's so cool. And I think, to tie it all back together, I think that's probably a big driving reason of why we do what we do, and why we not only work, but why we chose the path that we chose, and chose to become entrepreneurs instead of just working for somebody. It's to create just freedom as a whole, to be able to provide that for them, whether it's financial freedom or time freedom, or the ability to go, oh, I can bounce from work right now to go pick up my son, or hey, he's got this big tournament, we're taking Friday off to take him to this tournament, whatever it is. And just having that freedom
Exactly.
to be that, not only a present parent, but also a parent that's able to provide those opportunities for them to because nothing gets you more pumped than watching your kids become excited about something they're passionate about, and just the biggest smile on their face, and probably seeing Jeremiah kick it to that next level of competitiveness for the tryouts and stuff like that. Was probably
insane.
so cool to see. And so I think that's definitely not the reason, but a very big reason of why we decided to do what we do, and why you decided to become a serial entrepreneur, is not only for clients and business opportunities and serving other people, but serving your family, which is huge. So I love that, man. I feel like you can probably agree on that one.
Yeah,
So,
heck yeah.
okay, good. Awesome, man. We've been talking for 48 minutes already, which is crazy
Wow.
to believe. That flew by. I was like, man.
Yeah.
But so we'll kind of wrap it up a little bit. And so kind of the way I like to wrap it up is, considering anybody listening. I mean, we've got all sorts of people listening. We've got fitness professionals, other entrepreneurs, healthcare professionals, all these people that just tune in. But if there's, we're gonna put you on the spot here. One thing that, if you were standing in front of the room of all these people, it's not just a camera, and you could share one piece of advice, information, recommendation, thought, anything, just you could share one valuable piece of information with them, what do you think you would tell them? What would you share with them?
I'll keep it, I guess, business related. I would say it's a phrase that we have on a bunch of our shirts of fail forward. You're never a failure unless you completely just quit and you just give up. So you're never going to get it right the first time. But don't be afraid to go against the grain of where your passion is. So we naturally think about our passion, something that we want to do, but then we subconsciously start to think about like, well, how else is the world doing it? How should I do it to reflect the way that the world would want it? But like step back and just really create space for yourself and be like, well, no. Where are things that I think the world's doing it wrong? And how can I add what I think is maybe a possible better or just as good of a solution to help resolve this thing that I have such a big passion for? And I would say that through all the endeavors that I have and have started have came from that place is, okay, the world is doing it this way or not doing it this way, or I think I could do it in a way that is possibly better. I mean, we're doing personal training. We used to call ourselves concierge coaches. It's just a nicer way to say personal trainer. But we write workouts for people and create relationships. So, we're doing it in a different way, in a different light. And the gym design company, like I worked with a great high-end clientele and saw a need that like, man, these people don't have equipment in these unbelievably nice multi-million-dollar houses, and they want to possibly have us train them there. Well, A, we just need equipment, but B, how could I create a value and a service that's even beyond that? We're like the interior designers for luxury, awesome gyms, and it's blowing up. The creative space, same thing. There's podcast studios, but how could I create a space that is more turnkey for people to come in and shoot the content and the vision that they have without having the repercussion of, I don't know how to use any of this stuff. We already have it all pretty automated. So go figure that out. Is find whatever your passion is, think about how the world's doing it, how you could do it in a possible better way, and then pursue it in that light. Because your authenticity and your honesty and just pure heart behind it, people will freaking see that. And it is very evident if you have that or not. So if you don't have that, then you're probably just feeding off of what you think the world would want you to, how you think the world would want you to do it, rather than how you actually deep down believe you could do it. That helps.
Is your microphone on fire over there?
No,
That was hot, bro.
No.
That was hot. That was good, man. That was awesome.
But,
that was incredible.
Yeah,
I love that.
I mean, and that's literally what that's what I've done with all of these ventures.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of speechless on that. That was so good. I'm fired up. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
I mean,
go
you're
back to
doing
work.
it, and you're a chiropractor and rehab specialist, but like, I mean, some of the posts you've been posting lately has been very confrontational.
Yeah, I got
to
some
your
of my,
chiropractic
I got
space.
some of my comments right
and
now.
I'm like, woo! Dr. Mitch is putting out some fire, but there's value and there's truth there, and then you're creating a space. Yeah, it's not. You don't need to do that all the time through social media. It's not your job to be a keyboard warrior. But when people come to you and then experience your service, it clicks. You're like, okay, this makes sense. Yeah, I don't need to just get cracked on a table for 2 minutes and walk out. And oh my gosh, this past 6 months, I still am walking the same way I'm walking and still have the same pain that I have. And I'm going to a person that's supposed to be helping me with my pain. I should probably go see Dr. Mitch at the Movement Lab.
There you go.
It's
Marketing, thank you. I'm putting that in the
you're
video.
welcome.
But yeah, no, problem solving. That's what it is. Square one. Like, find the problem and how can we fix it? Find the holes. How can we fill them? Like, where's the need, right? And that's what it's about. Because that's the thing is, like, when it comes to business, we're going to go on a tangent, I know, but when it comes to business, like, that's what it's about. Like, there are other personal training studios out there. There are other chiropractors out there. But what makes you stand out, what makes you different, is by doing the things that other people aren't doing and filling the holes that other people are leaving wide open.
Yeah.
And that's what creates the value, and that's what's going to allow you to be successful. Because if you're doing it the same as everybody else, not only do you not stand out, but now you're competing in the same space as them. Like, you're in the same pond. Like, dude, all these chiropractors are out in their own little like fish pond, bro. I'm out in the ocean, dog. I'm in a whole different space. Like, we're completely different, doing completely different things. Exactly, right? And it's just providing something that people can't find because you're the only one doing it. And again, what you're doing, man, between honestly all three of those businesses we've talked about, between LLT, Lux Life Gym Design, and Lux Creative, like, no one's doing that. And that's the coolest thing. And that's, again, like you said, that's where it all started and where it all came from. And I can't wait to see where it's going to go next.
Totally.
And I won't say anything else besides that.
Yeah.
But it gets me fired up, man. But, dude, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Not only being here and on the podcast, but just for all the opportunities and encouragement and wisdom and everything you've shared with me. And I was literally telling Krista the other day, and like, I would not be where I am with the Movement Lab and just the success that we've had in our short 2-3 months as the Movement Lab if it wasn't
Yeah.
for you and your team and the space and just all the opportunities and connections and all that stuff. So I
Heck yeah,
can't
bro.
thank you enough. And again, we're all ships rise, bro. We're doing this together, and we're just gonna help each other out.
I mean, you still got to be in the driver's seat and turn the car on and hit the gas and go. So we're just trying to help add value to the vehicle.
Yeah.
That's it.
Can do that,
So,
man. I appreciate it, dude.
yeah.
Well, last but not least, where can people find you? Social media,
yeah,
websites,
social media.
I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah, Lux Creative TX. TX is the website. You can find it on Lux Creative TX on Instagram, Lux Life Gym Design, Luxury Lifestyle Training, all on social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, websites. You'll find me through there too.
Yeah.
This is only my second time shooting a podcast in here.
Really?
The first time, I know, the first time was literally like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
so.
there you go. Well, yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to find ways to connect with Michael. We'll put all of his links to all of the wonderful things he's doing in the description so you can check him out. And if you are in the, I'm just going to say DFW, North Texas area, get your bottoms out here and just check out what's going on, man, whether it's the gym or the creative space. Doors are always open. I mean, not always open. We have hours, but come hang out. We'd love to show you the space, love to connect, all those good things. Reach out if you've got connections around that you think could benefit from things that Michael is doing with any of his businesses or the Movement Lab. Please reach out. We want to help because we're in the business of serving people, and that's what it's about.
100%.
Love, man.
Yeah, I literally was just wrapping up a gym design walkthrough with a client yesterday, and they're talking about getting, what are the horses? I'm sorry, the cows that everyone loves right now. Why am I blanking on
The
it?
Highlands?
The Highland cow.
Like the furry cows?
I literally was like, hey, I have a great connection for someone that actually does Highland cows over in like the Collin County area. Like it's a client of ours. Like we're having a meeting about their gym, and then I'm like connecting them with someone that does Highland cows. But going back to what you said, adding value, creating connection, and networking, that can be another conversation.
Yeah, love it. We're probably definitely gonna have to have you on 1, 2, 10 more times because that brain, man, it's got some good stuff in there. Got to keep sharing it with the world. So that's what it's all about, just having conversations and just we talk about some really cool stuff. So we want other people to have the opportunity here. For sure. And all that stuff, man. But yeah. Thanks again, dude. I know we've got some work to do. We've got some things to grind at. It's Friday. Got to get prepared. So, but yeah, thanks again. Right. So thank you guys for listening. Thanks for hopping on. And please stay tuned and subscribe, follow, like, do all the things. Share with someone you think may benefit from listening to this. But make sure you stay tuned for our next conversation. See you guys.